Hi, everybody. I'm Bondilyn Jolly, and I'm the Chief Marketing Officer at Elm Street Technology. And thank you so much for joining us today on our Agent Productivity webinar, a broker's mid-year check-in. I am joined today by Denis Pepin. And let me see if I can advance my screen. There we go. Hey, Denis, how are you today?
I'm doing fantastic. How are you doing?
I'm very good. Denis, you're the broker owner of Professionals Realty Group in Huntington Beach, California.
Correct.
So how's the weather today?
It is going to be very hot. We've had a heat wave going on here, and we could use the rain that everybody else is getting in the other parts of the United States.
Well, I am dialing in from our corporate offices in Frisco, Texas today, and it is very hot and humid here.
Yeah, it's supposed to be 100 today where you are.
Yes, it
Not
is
quite there.
Yeah. We're also a little later in our webinar, we're going to be introducing Kirsten Dowd. She is a senior account manager, works very specifically with all of our brokers at Elm Street Technology. And she's going to be talking to you a little bit about some of the ways that we work with all of our brokers. So just a couple of housekeeping items before we jump in. We are recording today's webinar. You'll receive an email on the back side of the webinar that will have a link to the on-demand recording. So if there's anything that you want to revisit or if you have to drop off early, don't worry, it's available for you. If you have any questions, you've got a couple of different ways that you can engage with our team. There's the chat feature or a Q&A. So feel free, throughout today's conversation to go ahead and put some questions or comments or anything that you'd like to share with us inside of the chat. I know that we've got a few people that are moderating that on the back side for us. We're also going to set aside a little bit of time just to do some Q&A at the end. So any questions that you have for myself, for Denis, or for Kirsten, we'll address those. We have a summer barbecue giveaway because it is summertime. And so at the end of today's session, from all of our registrants, we're going to go ahead and pick a winner who's going to receive a really cool portable summer grill that you can take with you on all of your summer adventures. And then we do have a download for you, and it's pretty important that you download this today because we're going to be taking you through a lot of different action items related to your mid-year check-in. But all of that is outlined, and there's some spreadsheets and all kinds of things that you're going to want from that download. So Megan or somebody on the back end, if you could go ahead and drop that link into the chat for everyone. You also see it here on the screen. It's 365.agency/agent-productivity-guide. But Megan's going to go ahead and share that link in the chat for you. Great. Thank you so much. I think we've covered all of the logistics. So let's go ahead and jump in, Denis.
Let's get going.
I'm going to start with just, a quick outline of our agenda today. I can't believe it's mid-year. So I know, we came into 2022 working with a lot of our brokers on, doing business planning with your agents and what that looks like. And I know we led, quite a few workshops earlier this year on that. And now we're literally at that mid-year mark. And this is a really important time for brokers to be checking in with your agents, to see how they are doing, see where they stand in terms of their annual goals. And really helping provide them the tools and resources and mentorship that they need to finish the year strong. So this is a really big retention tool. While everybody's just glancing at today's agenda, go ahead, everybody, and let me know in the chat how many of you actually started your year with doing a business planning session with your agents. So how many of you are actively working on business planning with your agents? And now you're preparing for that mid-year check-in. So just go ahead and share that with us in the chat real quick. So Denis, I know that you are very big on business planning with your agents. They're sole proprietors, right?
Yep.
And so talk to me a little bit about like what your processes are and things like that, and preparing to work with your agents.
Sure. My business partner and I, we equally share in excess of 30 years of being in this real estate industry, and our approach with our company is really focused on being the internal coach, if you will, for our specific agents. So we really take a real vested interest in the day-to-day, almost the day-to-day on our agents. Our agent avatar, which for everybody's sake that's on the webinar here, avatar meaning the description of the actual agent who we affiliate with in our organization. We run a very higher end type of boutique operation. So the individuals that we have are generally agents that lean more towards listing as opposed to buyer agents, although some have their own. We really focus on an internal coaching system with these individuals, where we're constantly assisting them with monitoring production, doing comparisons with their production, ensuring that they're actually maximizing the technologies and utilizing the technologies, or their teams are utilizing the technologies correctly, providing them, assistance with regards to research in terms of that. We provide our particular agents with, a lot of statistical data. We work very, very closely with our affiliates, like, title companies and the like, to MLS, of course, and the like, to acquire the data that we can provide to the agents to keep them informed as well. So it's really high level of what we do. I almost call it the intense projection, and that is so we're constantly involved, almost like a business partner to that particular agent moving forward throughout the year.
Oh, I like that you said that, Dennis, like the whole business partner piece, right? Like the fact that you're in there to really provide that guidance and leadership from your point of perspective to that.
Well, that's our job. I mean, as broker owners, our clients are our agents, right? I mean, the agents, their clients as a consumer. Our job is really to help support them. If we can actually assist them in making more money, then the brokerage makes more money.
Yeah, it's very true. So on the screen right now, we just have some tips. I'm really big, like when I'm working with, brokers, that I think, we need to be there in what I call servant leadership, right? It's a servant leadership style role. And I think, doing a mid-year check-in, it can be very nerve-wracking, for agents. And you really want to demonstrate that, a sense of care, that you're there, as you said, Dennis, as a partner, or, there to really be that mentor, that coach, and also, that servant leader, right? That idea of like, how can I be of service to you, and how can I help you achieve your goals? And so just a few tips here. We really feel like preparation is always very key. Making sure you've got performance numbers, the agent's, current GCI numbers, as well as a tool chest of resources. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that a little later on, as we look at like a lot of the typical challenges that agents might be facing at that mid-year mark, making sure that you have that repository of resources that you can lean on for them. And also, just really important, I mean, to set aside a quiet space, to put aside, all of the distractions, put the phones away, the emails away, and really just, take that time to commit to sit one-on-one and be of value to your agents. There's nothing that beats that personal time. And, for brokers, particularly that have like larger agent counts, you don't always have a lot of that personal direct one-on-one time. And so this is really a very meaningful and thoughtful way for you to create some connection. And then also a really big tip that we have, and Dennis, this is so important, is that you always want to focus on all of the successes and the accomplishments that your agents, right? What has been going well, make sure that you recognize that personal validation is really, really important, and then move towards those areas of improvement. And do it, Dennis, like you said, in a very collaborative way, right? You're that partner that is there to say, here is what is working, here's what's not working, and here's how me as a broker, here's us as an organization can support you and help turn things around in a different direction.
Yeah, I just want a couple of things. So I want to back up. One, we talked about the, defining and outlining, setting, quiet spaces to actually to work with the agents that you have. If one good thing that's come out of the pandemic is that the average agent and broker now realizes they can actually do business over what we're doing right now, Zoom. And I found that what we've done is over the pandemic is really did the one-on-one over Zoom with the agents. We can share screens, we can look at statistical data, what have you. We can focus on, the differences between, what they did that last year and how far advanced they are this year, and what, what that represents towards their goals and things like that. So absolutely, we want to make sure that we're constantly engaging with them and providing them with a positive experience and providing them with positive information that's going to allow them to move forward and reach that goal.
Exactly. And so this next slide is really focused on some really good questions to ask. And I know sometimes, being that broker, it can be tough, to sit and have some of the conversations that you need to. And so I'm really big on open-ended type questions, right? So framing things in a really open-ended way that initiate conversation. And you want to focus on near-term and longer range goals. And so if everybody has taken the time to download that guide, all of these questions are actually outlined in that guide for you. So don't feel like you need to take screenshots or anything of all of this. It's all in that guide for you. But these are just some really, really great questions. And I know, Denis, some of these, came from you and in your experience working with your agents. But look at these nice open-ended, how have you done since our last check-in? What specific accomplishments are you most proud of? Where are those misses, and what have you learned from it? And so these nice open-ended questions really allow the agent to feel a lot more relaxed, to open up and really express in their own words, how they feel that their experience is going, as a professional within your organization. And then we also did provide a few COVID related questions too. And I know that we're all a little fatigued with the topic of COVID and all of that, but it's something that is relevant. And it's a really good way for you to express, some care and concern, for the well-being of your agents. So, and a lot of people have, struggled with that transition between that in-person and remote, and, the challenges, not only of a trying, just a difficult and sort of tumultuous market right now, but then you layer sort of this, COVID aspect on top of it. A lot of people have had a rough couple of years, right, Denis?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we jumped on it very, very quickly at our brokerage because we recognize the fact that, with everything shutting down, the inability to actually, easily get into the building without having to follow a ton of protocol, and that our agents were going to have some concern about being out in public, whatever the case may be. I mean, we jumped on it right away from a personal side on one-on-one, and approached each one of our particular agents to ensure that they had what they needed in order to be able to continue to do business. I mean, that second part, the COVID related, I mean, COVID's still with us. It's not completely gone, and, hopefully that day comes soon, but, the whole point of this is that's the personal side, right? These agents are our clients, but they're also essentially our business partners and our friends. And it's really up to us to really, make sure that we, present a touch point, at least on that, to ensure that they're getting what they need. And I'm sure that everybody that's actually on this call does exactly the same thing.
Well, and the types of, tools and resources that you, as a broker have had to evolve or expand, right, in your product portfolio has had to change due to COVID.
Right.
And I think that's really important. And I think it's, even though we're seeing a return to a lot more in person, people coming back into the office, I think that it's always going to be a hybrid approach moving forward. You're right. I don't think you're going to see people return to that 100%, in-office kind of experience that we had pre-pandemic. And so I think, from a brokerage standpoint, and I know that's what Kirsten's going to talk to us a little bit about later, is the types of, technology tools and resources that now, as a brokerage, that you actually have to have available to your agents that maybe you didn't traditionally have to, or it was optional. Some things have become a lot more mandatory now.
with everything that we just said, that's actually everything that's actually on this screen and what we've just been speaking about. I mean, that's a huge retention tool, folks, in terms of your agents, because they become dependable upon you to assist them, and whether it be with complications with a transaction or whether it be a need to have some kind of technology or service that can help them further their business.
Excellent. Okay, so let's play with worksheets.
Numbers, yeah.
Worksheets and spreadsheets, yay, and finances. There's just no really fun way to transition into that, is there, Dennis?
It's like standing on the dock, looking at the water, trying to figure out, okay, I don't know how deep it is, but essentially, I also don't know how cold the water is. So until you actually jump in, then you can kind of figure it out from there.
So actually in the download that everybody has available to them, all of these planning worksheets are all available for you. Okay, but we just have a screenshot here. And Dennis, this is actually one that you work with your agents on. You brought this one specifically to the table. So why don't you just take it and run with it and talk to us about how you work through this income planning worksheet with your agents.
Sure. So this actually starts out, it begins out, as you can probably tell, it begins out from a personal side, right? So we talked with our agents about, if you had increased income, what could you potentially be doing with that income? Is it, going on a family vacation? Is it, is it putting money away for retirement? Is it a kid's college fund? These are all elements of the family side of things, the personal side that we help our agents to kind of create, as far as, their goals and what they want to achieve, and continue to actually keep them informed in that specific element of it. And then of course, we want to make sure that they understand what their costs of doing business are, as opposed to what their necessities, right? And so we all have overheads, and we all have the expense of actually doing business. We know what those numbers are. Now what we're doing is we're actually equating that to how much business you have to do in order to be able to achieve that. And so what we do through this particular sheet is we hit the approach of saying, well, if you had more money, what would you actually do with it? And then the second part of it is, what are your current total expenditures that you absolutely need on a month-to-month basis on a personal side to, help support your family, yourself, and your business, and so on. And then we actually break it down from there as to saying, okay, well, what is your overall dollar goal for the actual year, and then break that down as to where it actually comes from in terms of the actual sale, the commissionable earnings that come in, the number of the actual share, the percentage of what you actually get on average. And by the way, all this data, folks, really comes from us tracking the agent itself, right? Because one agent, I'll give you a perfect example. I've got one agent that actually averages about 2.25% of the commissionable side of a transaction. And I've got another agent that actually has 2.75%. Now, from our perspective as a broker, we want to know why there is a difference and stuff, and that information is shared with the agent. But that becomes important for you to have that data, so you know what the actual numbers are, and you can get to be really realistic in terms of providing that agent with an understanding of saying, okay, well, here's the average sale price, here's the average commission that I have per transaction side, here's the actual income value that I'm actually getting, how many closed deals do I need to get in order to actually reach my goal? And that's really what this is all about. It's about understanding the actual valuations in perspective to what it is that I actually need to, or what I want to achieve ongoing.
So the annual agent income goal, when you work through that with your agents, do they have those sort of aha moments, or how many are sort of surprised at what, as they go through this worksheet with you? Are there, points or considerations where they're like, wow, I had no idea that I need to do that or drive this, or
Well, that is especially prevalent and made aware, or at least comes to light with somebody that we haven't really done this before. A lot of our people have done this consistently now for a number of years, and so they're used to this. They get really refined, and it actually it's something they look forward to in a sense. But there are a number of agents that I've met and that I've spoken to, and we've gone through this exercise with that. They'll go, oh, geez, I never really thought of it that way. It's because a lot of agents now are today are more reactionary than proactive, right? They're reactive rather than proactive. In other words, they're not really thinking that this is really truly a business. I'm running a business here. So I have to know what the business requirements are, expenditures. I have to know what my personal expenditures are. And so if I'm going to actually meet those two goals, I also have to understand what the realities are of what I'm going to get and how much business I actually have to do. And there's a lot of our agents, some of our agents, have this, okay, well, I want to make 150,000, or I want to make 200,000, or, 100,000, whatever the case may be. And when you kind of show them based on this breakdown, how many transactions a lot of them actually sit back and they start to rethink now going, is this a realistic goal?
Right.
And so you kind of take it from there. And of course, it goes on further deeper as we go through this exercise. But in the end, it's actually very, very beneficial for them.
That's excellent. Very good. I know that we've got these a few other worksheets here. We've got the tracking production goals. And this is another one that you kind of mentioned it when you were speaking to the income sheet. But this is where they really, really can break down, their production in terms of, like, you can see on a month by month basis. And we have a bunch of different categories here, plan number of listings, actual number of listings, plan number of buyers, actual number of buyers, referrals, etc.
Yeah, this is a gauge that really provides a real good snapshot as to performances on a month-to-month basis, and it narrows it down to what my objectives were. If my objectives were, or at least understanding that I need to have I'm just going to throw numbers out here. I need to have 10 listing appointments in order to get 2. How many did I have planned for, and how many actual listings did I get, or how many transactions did I want to have, and how many did I actually get? So it really gives a good active snapshot as to where your strengths and your weaknesses have been or are, especially when it comes to the specific months going throughout the year.
Excellent. All right, let's keep going. We've got another one. This is where things get really fun.
Oh, yeah.
Income and expense tracking.
Yeah. And it's every single year, at least once a year, I always have my own personal and my company's CPA come in and provide discussion points with our specific agents about taxes and income and expenses and things like that, what you can claim as an expense and what you can't. And so I do that every single year because obviously the tax rules and laws change consistently. But going through this particular sheet really brings to light as to what the actual total number of expenses that you actually incur as a 1099, as an independent contractor, that is, tax deductible. And so some are not. But in being able to actually do this, again, this is exactly like what we do as business owners. We have to track our income. We have to track our expenses then to ensure that we're making sure there's a balance there. If we need to actually tweak something in terms of, making sure that we're able to actually cover a specific expense. Maybe a certain expense that we have is much too high one month to the next. Well, now what we do is we analyze, well, why is that? Why was the January automobile expense much more expensive than the August, for example, expense? And just kind of being able to understand what the different levels of expenses that actually you have in running your own business. And that's exactly what we're doing, is we're coaching them on running their own business.
Yeah, and I love the amount of detail that goes into this worksheet. So once again, this worksheet is in your guide that you're downloading. But that list of expenses, it's a really, really nice comprehensive list. And obviously it can be customized. So if there's additional expenses or things that aren't applicable, that it can easily be pulled out of the spreadsheet. But there's a lot of detail in here. I mean, and just looking at a glance, your client and closing gifts, think or delivery and postage and dues and licensing and, just everything. Like it's really, there's a lot that goes into running, your own personal business. And so this is a really nice framework for you to start with your agents.
Without a doubt. I mean, we don't provide them any financial, recommendations. We'll leave that up to the CPAs to actually do when it gets into detail. But we certainly provide them a lot of guidance with regards to recognizing, you are running a business and these are expenditures that you need to actually keep track of.
Well, Dennis, I would think too, from a broker perspective, it must be interesting when you're going through this exercise with your agents, because you really start to see where your agents are spending money, right? And resources. And that empowers you as a broker to, potentially bring in tools and resources and technology and things like that could potentially help offset some of those costs and take that heavy lifting off of your actual agents, right?
Well, the big one is under expenses, line item number 2, advertising. Right. That actually, if you track that you help your agent track that as to what they're doing in terms of marketing themselves and their business, and you look at what their production is, there's a direct correlation between the two. Right. And by the way, it could be completely the opposite. There could be too much advertising that's not performing. So that line item actually becomes quite a lengthy conversation with our agents when we start to really narrow down, what are you spending on? Are you tracking the results that are coming? Because we're tracking your results. What are you spending the money on? And are you getting the results on that? Maybe we should be switching that up. Right.
Yeah, money in, money out, right?
Yeah, maybe we should be taking, you're spending too much on, you're spending way too much on this company with, a lead gen or whatever the case may be. Maybe you should be narrowing that down a little bit and taking some of those funds and placing them out, reallocating them in a different area that'll actually provide you better results. So that's the type of thing that we'll do.
All right. Well, fantastic. So I know this is another one that you brought to the table, Dennis, and I just really love this. So, as you're going through this exercise with your agents, once again, go back to that concept of servant leadership, right? How can I be of service to you and provide value? And so after you've gone through those worksheets, you're going to start to see, is the agent upside down, right side up, like Denis said, is there too much money, you're pumping too much money into something, you're not getting enough out of it. And so it's a really great way to have a lot of really meaningful conversations. But then this is something that Denis actually shares with his agents as well, is he has a checklist here, and he literally has his agents, check off their top 3 coaching or mentorship requests. Like, where do they feel that they need assistance? And it's something that you're actually doing as you're going through this one-on-one time with your agents. And I love this. This is a really comprehensive list, Denis, from prospecting, technology, working open houses, FSBOs, business planning, right? Which is what you're literally sitting there doing with them, marketing, advertising, et cetera. It's really, really powerful.
I'm smiling because it almost emphatically never is just 3. It's always more than 3, which is fine. I mean, we want to hear from them. We want to be involved in it. We want to know because, we can't help them if we don't know. That communication has to be there. So this really actually helps for them to really kind of look at it going, well, are the technologies I'm using actually really working? Let's analyze those. Or, am I even, working with FSBOs? Should I be working with FSBOs? How do I work with FSBOs? Just things like that. So
yeah, this initiates a lot of conversation, I'm sure.
Yeah, without a doubt. Yeah.
And once again, this, as a broker, this provides you insight into where your agents need to help it grow, right? So the types of tools, resources, training, et cetera, that you're going to provide on an ongoing basis. So I just imagine this is an absolutely fantastic retention tool for you.
It works. It's if you don't do anything else, do this. I mean, because this really does. It really is beneficial. It really does work.
That's fantastic. So I know we've got a few best practices here. Obviously being prepared. And I think it's important when you're scheduling this one-on-one time, you want to allow your agent that time and opportunity to be prepared as well. You want them to come to the table, with a list of, questions, comments, concerns. You want to create a lot of context around the reason that you're scheduling this time with them, right? So our little tip there, no surprises. You really want to lay out point by point, hey, we are scheduling this meeting together. This is the objective of this meeting. This is what I'm doing to prepare for it. This is what you should do to prepare. And this is how we're going to come, together. And this is our objectives together, right?
Yeah, 9 times out of 10, we're far more prepared than they are. And that's normal. When they come to this, they'll have maybe 1 or 2, maybe even 3 action items that they want to actually discuss or have questions about. And as we get into it, it almost always becomes a much more extensive conversation and meeting in terms of substance. Because we, on our side, we come extremely prepared with all statistical data, comparisons, all that type of stuff. So, but it is extremely beneficial for you to actually have, some, especially that list that we just showed you, send that to them, if nothing else, to get them thinking about what areas they actually want to concentrate with, as far as that is concerned with you, and focus on that. But you're going to find that, as you start to get into doing this with your agents, you'll be touching on the 2 or 3, or however many action items that they want. You're going to find it's going to expand. So it's always really important for you guys to ensure that you've got, enough time and be prepared for that as well.
Yeah. And, one of the points that I want to look at here too is the final point, that is focus on actionable items.
Yep.
This is huge for me, right? Because, I work in, I'm part of the leadership team in a very large company, and I have a lot of people that we work with. And I know when you're sitting down one-on-one with people, they want to know, like, they want that time to feel meaningful and valuable to them. And they want to feel like if there is a challenge that they're having, that you as that leader are there to really help them take action and address, the issue. And so I think that's always really important, is to walk out of those types of meetings with an idea like, hey, we sat here, we looked at all these successes, these accomplishments, we looked at areas for improvement. This is our action plan in terms of, how you're going to receive additional resources, how we're going to make changes in your technology or your marketing, whatever that is. I think it's really important, because people tend to feel a lot better and more productive if they actually are taking actionable steps towards course correction.
Yeah, each one of these is are items that we actually put into their file, and it's a consistent thing from that point on. So, if there is certain action items they need from a course correction, or from a to-do, whatever the case may be, we're constantly following up with them. So you just like a client, an agent that actually has a client, in terms of following up, because they said, we're just not ready to sell today. We may be ready at the end of the year. You want to have a follow-up so that you're constantly keeping top of mind your name in their mind, but you're also making sure that you're keeping that contact, so that when they are ready, you're the person they're actually going to talk to. The same thing applies here with an agent. So what we do is we actually have, in our CRM, we have their file, their record, and in there we're constantly doing follow-ups and automated follow-ups and things like that, to make sure that we're keeping them on track. Because there's one thing to actually sit down with an agent and say, okay, well, here's where you need to kind of improve on your technology. Let's make some changes there. Or here's the number of transactions or number of appointments you need to actually get the number of transactions. There's one thing to just kind of say, here it is, and then if they do it, they do it. If they don't, they don't. Or the opposite side of that is for us to actually be the proactive coach for them, by saying, all right, you call them up a week later or 2, whatever the time frame is, and is this done? Did you manage to get this done? If you didn't, why not? And is there something we can actually help you to get it accomplished?
Yeah, you're their accountability partner.
Absolutely, absolutely.
As the broker, you have to wear a great many hats.
Yeah, well, there's nobody though more important as a broker owner. There's nobody more important to me and my business partner than our agent, right? Because without them generating revenue, we don't make any revenue.
Well, I like that you said, Dennis, early on that your agents are your clients.
Yeah, absolutely. They are. Yeah. Absolutely.
Okay, great. So we actually, let's talk about 365 a little bit, because Dennis, not only are you a broker owner and a mortgage lender and all those fun hats that you wear, you're also the VP of business development at 365. And at 365 is a division of Elm Street. And so this particular division is hyper focused on working with brokerages on business growth initiatives. And so, like I had mentioned, we spend a lot of time working with our brokers in terms of developing business plans at the brokerage level, as well as working with brokers at servicing, business plans, development, and things at the agent level as well. I know we do a lot of recruiting, mergers and acquisitions, all different types of business growth strategies and different types of coaching. And we have a really, really fantastic team that can come in and work with, the brokerage at a lot of different levels and help create a lot of success there. And I know, this is really big for us in terms of recruiting and retention, right? These types of business planning, meeting with your agents, having those ongoing touch points, establishing or setting aside time that you're having some quality connection with your agents. It's so powerful and meaningful. And we actually have several broker clients that we work with that provide business planning, coaching, and training similar to what we're talking about today, even for agents in their community that are not a part of their brokerage, right? Once again, that concept of servant leadership, where you're really just there to help, people grow, to mentor them and help them be successful in business. And that many times will lend itself to the opportunity to have those recruitment conversations and build, your agent lists.
Yeah, I mean, everything that we're talking about on this mid-year checkup, I mean, everything that we do for our agent becomes part of the value proposition of our organization. And that fares very, very well when it comes to recruiting. Successful agents want to work in a brokerage with other successful agents, right? And everybody knows that. And even agents that are wanting to be, want to be successful agents, they also want to be associated with companies that have successful agents. And successful agents aren't, it's not just I hope that they can continue themselves. It's upon us as broker owners to assist them when it comes to helping them build their business, retain and expand. And from that particular standpoint, that is a huge retention tool, and it's a fantastic recruitment tool because now you can leverage against the agents that you currently have from a testimonial standpoint to get the right agents to join your organizations.
Well, and Dennis, I know you a tried and true professional on this. I think you've got over 30 years, servicing agents in one capacity or another. And so you're
34 next month.
34. So you are a wealth of knowledge, my friend.
Well, almost. Yeah.
And so if you'd like to schedule some time to learn more about 365, maybe you are looking, to ramp up your recruiting, maybe you're having some retention issues or other different kinds of business growth initiatives, you'd like to have a conversation with Denis, we actually have some contact details here. You can visit 365.agency online. You can give us a call, or you can actually just schedule some one-on-one time directly with Denis, particularly also if you have questions about the worksheets and things that we looked at today, things that are in that packet you're going to download. I know that those are all worksheets that, Denis works with his agents. So tap into that wealth of knowledge. I know that he's here to be of service to you.
We're happy to share.
Yeah, and great. And I think that Megan is also putting a couple of links in the chat for you that will just make it easy for you to click on. So Denis, I know that over the years serving as a broker, you've used these one-on-one sessions with your agents, to really understand their needs and challenges, and to make sure that your brokerage is offering, marketing tools and technology training, the right partnerships, all of those different parts and pieces. And that's such a valuable part of being a servant leader at the brokerage level. And so what I'd like to do right now is I'd like to invite Kirsten Dowd to pop in and join us. And like I had mentioned, Kirsten works one-on-one with a lot of our brokerages on this whole big list that you see here that we have pulled up. There's a plethora of tools and resources, that Elm Street is here to provide all of our brokers that can really help you be successful at the brokerage level and also help you to help your agents. So Kirsten, I'm just going to go ahead and turn it over to you. And then when you are done, we'll save the last few minutes to do any Q&A. So if any of you have any questions that you have for myself, for Denis, or for Kirsten, go ahead and put those in the chat or the Q&A section. And then right at the end, we will do that drawing for that summer barbecue grill giveaway. And I think Kirsten's going to help me do that.
Yeah, I have the screen for it. And you guys, this was such a great session. So grateful to be a part of this. I know so many of the brokers that are here with us today have gotten just, I'm sure, a ton out of this. I know, agents or brokers are asking me every day, how can they work with their agents to be more successful? So Bondilyn, Denis, thank you so much. That was such a good educational session. So for those of you who aren't familiar with Elm Street, I'm sure, most of you have at least a kind of small understanding of who we are. But for those of you that don't, I am really excited to be the one to share that with you, to introduce you to our incredible organization. What Elm Street does is it acquires best-in-class real estate tools and technologies, and it actually bundles them into one place so that brokers like you have a one-stop shop for all of their tech needs, and agents have a really easy way to set themselves up for success. One password, one login, one team to help you with everything you need to run a successful and streamlined business. And so I know the goal of today's session was to enhance your agent's performance and drive their success through proactive, hands-on touch points. And these touch points are obviously so important for the success of your agents and ultimately the success of your brokerage. But our tools can actually help you and your agents prepare for those meetings and keep an eye on progress throughout the year, leading to more engagement. I know Denis said he's basically in the day-to-day with his agents, which is great, and better performance overall. Now, our intuitive dashboard actually offers at-a-glance reporting that is going to help your agents track their performance in real time, manage and build their pipeline, and stay on top of income-producing tasks. It's also going to give you as the broker a quick view of how the brokerage and the individual agent is performing and trending, as well as offer easy insight into your agent's activities, making it easier for you to have those coaching conversations that we talked so much about today. And all those fun worksheets, Denis, I actually thought they were quite fun, that Denis walked us through. Those can even be uploaded into the system and stored for your agents to really easily access all those great tools that you're going to be providing for them. Now, as we think back to, kind of what Denis walked us through, and Bondilyn, you guys were talking about that, we also provide options to help with many of those key areas that your agents want and need support in. I know, Denis, it's never really just the three, right? It's usually more than that. Those things that are going to help them achieve their goals, things like building a referral database, time management, CMA prep, lead generation, marketing, advertising, pipeline management, maybe even eliminating the need to hire an assistant. The Elm Street team can actually take a lot of this off your plate and proactively support your agents in many of the areas that they do struggle in. Now, it is really easy for your agents to focus so much on the end goal, but they struggle to figure out what inputs to put their energy into and creating systems that help them get there, which is probably why you guys are having these, halfway through the year check-ins. Now, we offer all the tools your agents need to close more deals with less busy work, tools like social media and email campaigns to build that referral business, IDX websites to ensure that they're being found online, marketing, advertising, lead generation, follow-up assistance, and a whole lot more, all in one place. Now, with our Elevate Boss platform, we set our brokerages up with streamlined processes, agent insights, and elevated marketing tools, both for the company as a whole and for the individual agents within the brokerage. So with our platform, our brokers have happier, more successful agents, better retention, better insights and coaching opportunities, and better recruiting as well. Plus, with our all-in-one marketing and lead generation, with follow-up included in that, everyone ends up hitting their goals faster. So what we do is we start with powerful IDX websites for the brokerage as well as for each agent. We have a ton of personalization available on the sites because we want you and your agents to actually stand out. This is essential for lead generation and for showing up as an expert. This day and age, those static websites, they really just don't work all that well, as I'm sure you guys know. So what we do to make our websites dynamic is we actually set the brokerage and each of the agents up with a blog that makes their site dynamic and SEO optimized. Now, the best part of this is most brokers, most agents do not have the time. They're not going to do this on their own. You don't have to put the work in to have this amazing blog. We do that. Our automatic blogging sets your agents up to increase their SEO and look like an expert. We actually create the content. We create unique, customizable content. We do lifestyle content, real estate articles. We actually post all of your listing activity, which is great for branding yourself as a listing expert and increasing exposure for your clients' properties. We also create market reports. Those are great for targeting sellers and for organic lead generation and increasing your SEO and that search engine, value. And for your agents who like a little bit more control, they can go in and customize their posting so that they have a little bit more control over what their audiences are seeing. But even if they don't do anything, we post for you 3 to 4 times a week, sometimes even more with listing activity. So this is always going to be very dynamic, very active. Now, earlier, Bondilyn and Denis, you guys were talking about, top agent requests, building a referral database, advertising, time management. Most of the brokers I talk to are getting a lot of those same requests, so I'm sure a lot of you are as well. So the next thing that we do is we're actually going to help your agents supercharge their social media presence. Active and consistent posting to social media is one of the best ways to stay top of mind with your sphere of influence and to gain referral business. What we know, though, is that most agents don't actively use social media as consistently as they know that they need to in order to actually stay top of mind or gain those referrals. So everything that we put on the blog, all that great content that we created, that actually gets posted out to that agent's Facebook business page, their Twitter, their LinkedIn. We even create YouTube video slideshows of each of their listings. And different from most posting services, because I know a lot of agents actually have used posting services that haven't worked out super well in the past. When someone clicks on any of those posts, that actually drives that engaged user, they clicked on it, they're engaged, right back to your website. And that creates a closed loop system. So we help to gain that referral business. But in the meantime, we're also taking busy work off of your agent's plates, which means more time for those phone calls, those follow-ups, those in-person meetings, and less time figuring out what do we want to post next? What am I going to write content about now? So if you'd like to learn more about how we help your agents generate more referral business, how to increase their opportunities of being found online, or how to automate their social media efforts, you can go ahead and type "learn more" into the chat box. I will personally reach out to you and help you analyze how you and your agents are doing online and social media. Go ahead, type "learn more" if you are interested in learning more about that. I love meeting with brokers face to face and excited to meet with some of you guys. So thank you so much. The number one request, though, that I hear from agents, and I'm sure a lot of you get this as one of your, if you give them Denis's spreadsheet, one of 3 requests, lead generation. Where can I find new opportunities? So Built right into our system is actually high intent lead generation coming from pay-per-click advertising. What we're doing is we're targeting consumers who are actively searching for properties, or they're looking for information about selling their property in an area that you want leads from. So by targeting both buyers and sellers using pay-per-click advertising, we are getting really that gold standard of online lead generation. And because they're generated on your site, these leads are completely exclusive. You never need to worry that they're going to see another agent's info on your site, let alone be sold to another agent. Now, my favorite part of all of this is, because I work with so many brokers, for brokers who are looking to feed their agents, we actually have automated lead routing and tracking. That enables you to divvy up those leads without taking up a bunch of time, send the leads to the agent that should be working them, and most importantly, to the point of this whole meeting, keep track of how they're working them, keep track of how they're converting them and what they're doing with those leads all in one place. Now, something I hear all the time from my brokers is, I would love to generate leads for my agents, or my agents actually do generate leads for themselves, but most of my agents aren't doing everything possible to nurture their leads. They don't have systems or processes down to convert the leads. If lead generation is something that you're coaching your agents on, follow-up has to be a part of that too. And our system does take the guesswork out of follow-up and helps your agents with database management. So it's important not just to automate your marketing, but also your lead nurturing. So not only do we have intuitive email campaigns that send the right content to the right contact, new listings to your buyers, comparable properties to your homeowners, monthly newsletters, holiday touch points to all your contacts, we also have text campaigns to touch in with prospects in the way that they're most likely to actually see your message and also most likely to respond to your message. Texts get opened at a far higher rate than really any other form of contact. Now, my favorite piece of our platform really as a whole, and especially when it comes to lead generation, is our concierge service. We have real people that reach out and follow up with your leads. Usually when I ask an agent what their follow-up looks like, they'll tell me something like, I have an incredible 5-day, 10 touch point or 14-day campaign. But oftentimes those leads aren't ready to talk to that agent that day, right? And if they're not, what happens? More often than not, those leads end up slipping through the cracks and the agent is left feeling discouraged and they get a case of what I call lead burnout. Now, we have services where we're able to work your leads for your agents, real people who reach out to them immediately. They work with them for up to a year, helping your agents convert as many leads as possible. So we do all of the initial contact, passing leads over as soon as they're warm or engaged or ready to actually talk to an agent. We find those golden opportunities and let your agents focus on working the leads that they really want to work with, the ones that are warm and ready to go. So if you're looking to target high intent buyers or sellers, maybe you're a broker looking to provide high quality leads to your agents, or you want to give your agents an option for generating their own leads and building their list with high intent prospects, go ahead and type learn more into that chat box. Again, I will personally reach out. We can discuss what lead generation you're currently using, what other options are available to you, and go through all the different options there, showing you how we can help you convert as many leads as possible. Go ahead, type in learn more. I do see a couple people typing learn more, so excited to meet with you guys. And love meeting face to face if you are interested in growing that list with those high intent buyers and sellers. Really great follow-up. Go ahead and type in learn more, and I will be excited to reach out to you. Now, another really big piece of this is recruiting and agent adoption. And as you guys are working to get your existing agents performing at a really high level, many of you are also looking at bringing on new agents. So with this system, we can help you with your recruiting from your technology and marketing, and even consulting and take care of it in one place. We give you a state-of-the-art recruiting module where you can identify the ideal agents you'd like to recruit. You can search by sales history, volume. Maybe you want to target specific agents within a specific company. You're able to select all the agents you'd like to have in your office, and you can add them to automated marketing campaigns. Now, recruiting is never a one-call close. You need to be consistent with follow-up, just like you would with leads. So we are going to help you do that with automated recruiting systems, automated email marketing to help get you into more conversations with those great agents that you want working for you. And, if you do need more help with recruiting, if, just the tools and technology aren't really enough, we do offer that consulting. When it comes to recruiting, there can be a lot of intricacies. You want to ensure that the agents you're bringing on, they fit within your mission, they fit into your company culture. You might be looking for a really unique subset of agents to really fill in that gap on your roster. So we do offer in-depth, hands-on consulting where you're not just getting tools, you're getting a partnership with a team that can coach you and guide you on how to acquire the best talent for your team. So again, we are completely full service, from offering a one-stop shop for all of your marketing, lead generation, streamlining your business. We also have that automated or consultative recruiting to not only help you bring on new agents, also help your agents hit their goals and retain that top talent. So if you would like to learn more about how we can help you with your recruiting, if you're ready to grow your business with top talent, go ahead and learn more. Again, I will reach out and discuss what it looks like, run through all the details with you, and show you how we can help you implement these strategies and implement these tools to help you manage and grow your business. I love working with you guys. I love meeting with you brokers face to face. So if you are ready to learn more, go ahead and type learn more and we'll get you scheduled for a time that works with you. And when it comes to technology, it really is only as good as the people behind it. So Elm Street is committed to you guys. We are completely customer first. We love our clients. So thank you so much to all of us for joining us here today. You were such a great group, and I'm looking forward to having some FaceTime with those of you who reached out. If you do have additional questions, go ahead and type those in. If you want to meet, go ahead and chat that into the chat box. But we do have one last thing we did not forget. We have our summer giveaway. Bondilyn, do you want me to pass it back to you for that?
Well, no, you know what? If you have the name of our summer barbecue winner, let's go for it. Go for it.
Okay, let me see. Uh-oh. Are we going to see who it is? Hold on.
I've got the name.
You do? Okay. Oh, I see it here. Is it Georgette? Did we have Georgette win?
It's actually Norma Sands.
Oh, you're right. You must be present to win. And Georgette, she missed out.
Norma. She just raised her hand. So
Norma, I'm so excited.
Yay, congratulations, Norma. So Norma, Megan O'Leary, who is our education director, is going to reach out to you directly. She's going to get your address where you'd like to have the girls shipped, and she'll connect with you and take care of everything. So congratulations and thanks for joining us. And Kirsten and Denis, if you're still there, I think it's really amazing, all of the tools and technologies that Elm Street, works with brokers, because I think statistically, the average broker uses anywhere from 12 to 15 different types of technology and marketing tools to service their agents, right? Their agent community. Sometimes even more, right? And that ability to really consolidate and streamline that, it's a very cost-saving measure. I know, Denis, for you personally, you went from having to contact all of these different, vendors here for service. You have one, true partner. You have one point of contact, and it's really been, it's very efficient for you, very time-saving, cost-saving, as well as for your agents.
Absolutely. It was a nightmare before.
Well, Denis, thanks for joining us today. Kirsten, thank you so much. And everybody who attended, thank you. I hope you have some great takeaways. Don't forget to make sure that you've got that download, and congratulations to Norma as our winner of the day of the summer barbecue. And everybody have a wonderful day and stay productive. Bye.